Part two of my favorite fragrance. Make sure you check my previous video, which is linked below, because I'm just going to jump right in. So just as a reminder, I divided it in two for my favorite scent within the great classics, and the other one for the contemporary fragrances that were created within the last 10 to 15 years. And the first one was Squid by Zoologist. And again, Squid by Zoologist is an aquatic fragrance, but not a typical wet aquatic. It's a very dry aquatic that focuses on really ambery and very, resinous notes. So I'm going to put the listing of unique notes that you find in this fragrance, but they're really all notes that you would find really in deep sea. So y'all, I've never smelt anything like this fragrance. So this is my blotter from hours ago, and I hate using this term, but talk about beast mode. I mean, it's very literally the concept of the brand is about beasts. Am I going to get canceled for using a derogatory term for the animal kingdom? But you know what I mean. It's a very strong fragrance that lasts a long time. I actually went to the gym hours ago and came back, and the whole condo was smelling, had the smell of amber. And it has a very inky, mysterious quality to it, which I find is very unique to it. And the founder, Victor Wong, who started Zoologist in 2003, actually purposely tries to make fragrance that, kind of break the mold. And a lot of brands, I feel like a lot of brands talk about being disruptive and being different, but I really find that Zoologist actually does deliver on that promise. So it's the kind of challenging yet beautiful scent that I feel whenever I smell it, I always discover something new. And there's a very moody and nostalgic side to it, think of the world that Jules Verne painted in A Thousand Leagues Under the Water. I kind of get that in this one. And I actually believe at some point there was a packaging that was an homage to Jules Verne's work. And I totally agree with that analogy. So a fragrance I highly recommend. It's not a cheap one, but you can get samples for a pretty good price. And there's also the travel size that you can also pick up. Alright, so I have less than a minute for my favorite fragrance in the category of the great classics, and that fragrance is Chanel No. 5. But wait, hear me out. I'm not necessarily talking about the Chanel No. 5 Eau de Parfum, which most people know. I'm talking about the Parfum, the Extrait. It's a small bottle with a high concentration of what is as close as you can get to the original formula. And it's very, very different from the more common version of the fragrance that we know. Now, I don't have the bottle with me here because I gave it to my mom, and you can check my previous videos where I talk about that particular fragrance in great length. And that version of the fragrance is simply a masterpiece to me. It's much more softer, it's powdery, much more floral, and less sharp than this one. And the florals are those exclusive flowers that Chanel has access to in the south of France. So the May rose and jasmine, simply beautiful. I hope that answers the question.